Hi, this is Zoe from Belvoir, Bedford. And as you know, I've been talking to Bedford heroes. When I started this journey, I was predominantly looking at local businesses and people within my network. But it became apparently very clear very soon that there are a lot of people out in this awesome town of ours that are doing some fantastic, great work. Today, I'm talking to a young lady who has her own demons to deal with, but as soon as this crisis hit, she stepped up to the plate, set up a Facebook group called NHS Support and Kindness, and has been working long hours supporting and caring for our key workers and NHS staff. Today, I'd like to introduce you to Danielle Britten. Thank you.
Hi, this is Zoe from Belvoir, Bedford, and I'm here today with Danielle Britten to talk to her about her wonderful activities in respect of Bedford Heroes. Good afternoon, Danielle.
Good afternoon.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself before we get started today?
Yeah. My name's Danielle Britten. I'm 29 years old. I've born and bred in Bedford, lived here all my life. When I was younger, I was involved a lot with the youth service. Kind of got to an age within the youth service where I could actually volunteer and help out. So I did a lot of that when I was younger. During my life, I've been in and out of working in pubs and clubs and just sort of like sticking to the bar work as you do. Then it came to having children. So I have 3 beautiful children now. One that's 1 year old, one that's nearly 3, and an 8-year-old as well. And they've been kind of like the making of me, really. So yeah,
sounds
that's a bit
sounds
about me.
amazing. And in this lockdown, they must be a real handful for you. Obviously, being very well behaved today.
Oh yes.
So the reason we're talking to you today is about this Facebook group that seems to have gone absolutely wild. Do you want to tell us a little bit about how you got into this, and did it start as we went into lockdown, or was it sort of before that you sort of started this ball rolling?
Well, basically, my partner was still at work when all the lockdown sort of first started, and we were kind of staying at home, me and the children, we were at home, and I was finding a lot of the time my mind was sort of on the bad side of things. I am someone who suffers from depression quite badly. I have done since having my children. And I was thinking a lot about all the low stuff that was going on and the bad side to sort of staying in with the kids and all of that. And obviously I spend a lot of time on Facebook scrolling through, and I noticed through that there was quite a lot of groups that were actually helping the elderly and vulnerable. But then I came across a video of an NHS worker who was crying her eyes out because she couldn't get what she wanted and what she needed more than anything from the supermarkets. So it literally just popped into my head, I know, let's do something about this. So it was a case of, right, let's get a group up and running. I don't think it's going to go very sort of wild or anything. I might get a few people helping out. And then all of a sudden it was like, wow, we've got like nearly, I think at the moment we've got 1.6 thousand people on our page. We've had money coming in, we've had donations coming in. Just everyone was so willing to help out, and it was just an incredible response to sort of what we wanted to achieve, basically. Managed to get in contact with all the people at the hospital that I needed to, and we kind of have a little bit of a system in place. Obviously, we're having to change a lot of this sort of system at the moment because we've got things that aren't going right and things like that, but it's all teething problems. And yeah, we just went from there.
Yeah. So what sort of things are you doing, Danielle, on a daily basis then? What sort of activities are you getting involved in?
Well, on a daily basis, we receive a lot of messages with people of the community that have donations. So on a daily basis, we do collect those donations. We also do a lot of admin work. There is a lot of sort of admin side to this, with obviously all the money side. We get donations of money every single day. And then once a week, what we do is we do a delivery to the hospital. So the day before, we'll go and do a big shop at Booker's or a big wholesale food place. We will get all the stuff that's needed, bring it home, clean every single item that is within all of that, which is tough work in itself. Yeah, and then we pack it all up into the car, take it all down to the hospital, and then they kind of distribute it from there. But it's extremely hard work, all the messages we get through, obviously having to clean everything before it can even come into our house. That's the biggest task of all. So
it's pretty much a full-time job for you at the moment then?
Oh yes, we're sort of working from 8 a.m. till around midnight every single day.
Wow. So that's an amazing response that you've had. But obviously, if people wanted to get involved and give you some help, what can we do? Us folk that haven't actually sort of rolled our sleeves up and got our hands dirty, what can we do to help you?
By keeping footfall a little bit less on the street, I suppose. So if anyone was to want to get involved, I think the number one thing that we'd ask, obviously, is stay at home, don't go out. That's something we're asking of everyone. And donations. If you're going out shopping, grabbing that one tin of beans could help in a major way. Obviously, we will arrange with people to collect all the items. We don't want people delivering them because it means more people on the streets. It's not essential for them to come and deliver them to us. So yeah, having one person on the road at all times within our group is something that we've always kept to. And I do find if I have too many people, a lot of cross messages go of through the system. Yeah. So yeah, within the actual group, we're keeping it very small. But if anyone wants to help, then obviously there is our page and we put everything we need on there and things like that.
If you want to remind everybody out there, what is the page name and how can they find it?
NHS Poor and Kindness.
So that's NHS Support and Kindness. Are they best to message you on there or post something on the discussion side of it? Which is the best way?
The best way to do it is to pop me a message. Obviously, I'm kind of in charge of all the admin stuff. And I keep all the paperwork, all the jotted down notes to myself. But yeah, if anyone needs to message me, I'm on there all the time. As I said, from 8 a.m. till sort of midnight, I'm available to answer messages.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So obviously, how's this made you feel about the people of Bedford now? Obviously, with this sort of response that you've had.
Well, I never ever used to have a good outlook. And it was a case of this sort of started up, and all of the messages that came through to me and all the help that came through to me, it completely changed my outlook on just humans in general, let alone people in Bedford. I've now realised how kind and generous and how considerate people are within Bedford. So
if there was one thing you could change about Bedford, is what would that be? Is there anything that you can think of that would make it an even better place to be?
Do you know what? I've thought very hard into this, and well, since I was 18, so for the past 11 years, there's been one main thing I'd change, and that is to get the youth service back up and running in Bedford. Obviously that was taken away from us, and I think since that's been taken away, we've had a lot of problems within the youths. It was something that kept me out of trouble myself. I could have gone down a bad route. And yeah, just the youth service, I'd say, really getting that youth service back in action and keeping kids off the street.
Yeah, I totally agree, because I haven't told you my history. I used to work for Bedford Borough Council in the Community Safety Office, and whilst I was there, it was in the 90s, they got rid of all the community development workers, so they were the people out on the ground. So it's almost like it's gone full circle now, and you sort of stepped into that role, you know, in this adverse time. So I totally agree with you there. Just one other thing, is there anybody that you want to give a shout out to that obviously you couldn't have done this without?
Yes, there's a couple of people. Obviously, my lovely fiance. If it weren't for
fiance?
him,
oh, congratulations!
He's my fiance. Yeah. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have been able to even start this up. And then obviously we've got Dragos, our driver, who's been absolutely incredible and has held me and Jamie together through this as well. Also, some of the big companies that have helped us, as well as the small companies and businesses. We've had obviously donations from places like Costa at the beginning. That was a massive donation that came through, so a big thank you to those. And just a big shout out really to all of the members on our page that are so continuous with their support, their kind words to me, and just their love that they're giving at the moment is incredible.
Oh, that's lovely. I really want to say thank you, Danielle, because, you know, I mean this genuinely. I'm one of these people. You're an amazing person, and I'm so glad that I've had the chance to talk to you today, because it does make your heart sing when you realise that something so awful can just bring so much good out in everybody. And, you know, I do definitely believe, hand on heart, you are a Bedford hero. And that I think I want to shout out to anybody that's watching this video that wants to just make a comment and repeat that. I can't even say it because it's wonderful what you're doing, and it makes me feel like there's so much more that I should be doing now. And I'm sure that as soon as this call's finished, you'll be on the phone saying, right, I'm going to hold you to that now. But I just think you're absolutely amazing. And I think, you know, whatever anyone says, it's deserved, you know, and you've got to appreciate that. And, you know, you're a wonderful person. And to do this despite of everything else that's going on in your own life, it's, you know, it's amazing. And if, you know, anybody that out there watching should feel the same. You know, it's great. Anyway, before I start blubbing, I'm just going to pause this video.